All right, welcome everyone. Thank you for joining us tonight. We're planning to do a quick small webinar for you to guide you and give you some quick information so you can make an informed decision about studying abroad. We have an amazing set of panelists today with us, and I'll be introducing you guys to all our team, who are a team of expert advisors, doctors and medical students. First of all, I'm Osman. I will be introducing everyone. I'll be your host tonight. I'll be taking care of you guys and guiding you through all the options, all the routes and paths available in Europe. Thank you for joining us again, and I hope you enjoy the presentation. It should be an hour or just under 2 hours, depending on how much questions we get from you guys. I know you guys have a lot of questions always, so you drown us in questions, and we love that because we can answer them for you and give you plenty of value and plenty of information so you can decide on what's best for you, right from the information given from the source, people who've studied dentistry, medicine, and they've gone abroad themselves. So firstly, our panelists who are advisors are Edmund, Dana, and Tom, and I'll be also helping. Our expert advisors have helped thousands of students just like you gather all the information they need in order to make an informed decision on what's best for them. We've helped hundreds and thousands of students who've come to us in pursuit of their dream of becoming doctors or dentists. We've helped them, we've guided them, and we've given them all the information they've always asked us. And for the people that have given us the opportunity to, we have supported them for the next 6 years while they were abroad. Next is our team of doctors, including Dr. Nihal and Dr. Mustafa, who are dentists, and doctor and NHS consultant, Dr. Nihal. They'll be joining us a little bit later on. And finally, last but not least, our amazing students who are here to tell you their personal journey, how they found it, how they've gone through from going from being in the UK, not being able to pursue medicine or dentistry, or instead favoring going abroad and pursuing it in countries like Bulgaria, Romania, Georgia, Poland, and so on. So we have Amira, Aryan, Emma, Ashok, Akaf, who's recently graduated this year as well. We have Rihan and we have Nikhil. And we have a mystery guest as well at the end for you guys. And that is Kashif. He's our new latest addition to the team here to give you guys guidance and information. All right, so we'll start off by telling you an overview of the agenda today. So the agenda we'll be going through is telling you who we are, introducing ourselves, telling you about why students have favored and have preferred going abroad to study medicine, and telling you about what the education system is like, what the quality is like, why universities in Europe have become very popular recently in the past few years, and admission requirements, and how Medlink students can help you. We will tell you about our services, our support, and what we can do for you firsthand from people who have gone through exactly the same experience that you are about to embark on. We'll tell you about the logistics as well, like the living costs and the tuition fees. And this is why our students are here, to tell you based on their personal experience as well, how they've encountered these kinds of challenges and how they've dealt with it. And about the recognition of degrees and how the most important thing, how you will be able to go back home and practice as a doctor. This is the most important thing for us, because we know that this is a priority for you. So we will always focus on guiding you on universities and options that will allow you to be able to go home and practice as doctors after graduation. We'll talk to you about how the pandemic has affected medicine and education at universities in general, and we will guide you on what to expect in the future. And finally, we'll talk about also clinical rotations and how you can organize your clinical rotations in the UK, in the USA, and other countries as well. And at the end, make sure to shoot at us as many questions as you can in the FAQ, and we will get back to you with these at the end, where our team of students, doctors, and advisors will answer them as thoroughly as they can. So first of all, I want to introduce you to Medlink Students. The reason we have become the leading agency and the leading supporter for students who want to pursue medicine in general is because we have provided phenomenal support for students. We have given them a transparent and honest service, And we've looked after students and given them a treatment that they would expect from their second family. And who best to introduce you to our company and our support other than Dr. Sam, who is the founder of Medlink Students, who is somebody who has pursued medicine. He's become a doctor from Romania, and he's been through the whole journey and the whole experience with the challenges, and he decided that he would start Medlink Students in pursuit of being able to support students like you and help you and guide you. So I'll let Dr. Sam talk more about this.
Hi everyone, I hope you're having a nice Saturday afternoon or evening, wherever you are. I'm glad to see that there's many people from around the globe today. When I first started Medlink Students, what Osman said was true. It was due to the struggle of me not being able to find the right university in the UK, struggling with the interviews and with limited choices. So I looked abroad and I saw that the English language courses across Europe were gaining momentum. It was relatively new back in 2012. It was still not so common to just pack your bags and go. People were terrified of it, didn't know whether it was recognized in the UK. So I had to do a lot of research. I asked a lot of questions. I was completely lost, to be honest, which is probably what a lot of you can relate with, or a lot of the guys on here who are students currently and are studying probably went through this exact same thing. So I just wanted to get the right information out there, provide the right support, because I felt kind of alone when I came. So I didn't want other people to feel that. And I wanted to encourage more and more people to pursue this opportunity, because it was sad the fact that many people are just giving up on medicine and is their dream just because they messed up their A levels, got a few B's, or they were a bit like not concentrating while they were 16, 17 during A levels and missed out maybe on the A's, probably weren't that good at interviews, and just decided to go study psychology, biomedical sciences, biology, which is a case that I did. I studied human physiology at Leeds University. And then after that, I still wanted to study medicine, and I pursued graduate entry. And it was kind of a very challenging road. And I saw many of my colleagues were giving up on the opportunity. So when I saw this opportunity in Europe, I thought a lot more of us need to know about this. And when people knew, I found that they were a little bit worried about going out abroad, kind of how it would be. So I'm so glad to see from almost 9 years ago, shall I say, today there is such a huge number of you guys on here coming, and you also want to encourage others to study medicine, to pursue their dream, because you've kind of made that brave step as well, and you've gone out there, and now you see what a great opportunity it is. And that's why probably you are on this call encouraging others, answering their questions. A lot of you are not paid, are here like by your own will, voluntarily. And this is exactly the spirit that we wanted to encourage within Medlink Students. We wanted to kind of gather a huge network of students studying in Europe who can link back home to the UK, when I refer to home, and help others go back, register the GMC, find jobs, because a lot of students are still a bit worried. So it's nice to see that the network is consistently growing. And I'm glad to see that we have also American students, Canadians, Australians now, from Arab countries, Middle East, even Africa. I see there's quite a few. So it's really good to have that kind of mix. And we are kind of becoming a global network. We first started as just a simple few people from the UK, and now we're all over the place, and it's growing really fast. And I'm really happy. And every time people go on these conferences, especially the students, they really relate to how passionate the student speakers are, mainly the guys studying Romania, Bulgaria, Poland. They always say, wow, how passionate are these guys? And they're really informative. They help us a lot. So I'm really glad that all of you are on here. And thank you very much for continuing in this spirit of helping each other. And I hope that we will continue all our journey, and we'll be visiting all of the students currently studying here, and the doctors that are already working in the UK. We'll visit each other's one day. And if we need help, we will always be just a text message away on WhatsApp. So I'll let Osman continue from here to the next slide. And thank again once again for all the guys for speaking. And I'm glad there's a lot of participants, so they will benefit as well, and they really enjoy your contributions. And thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Sam. And yes, absolutely. Thank you to all our volunteers who have given their time right now, who are about to tell you all about their experience and why they chose to do what they do. It's, I think, in the spirit of becoming doctors, which is an amazing thing, an amazing journey to embark on. Becoming a doctor, giving back to the community, helping people, and just supporting your fellow future doctors, and hopefully supporting the profession as well, and lifting that profession up. And as we can, and this is the spirit of what we do. We do this because we want to provide more doctors to the world, allow people to pursue their dream of becoming doctors. And it's an amazing feeling as well, especially when students graduate and become doctors and then go back to their countries. It's really rewarding for us and rewarding for them as well, because they knew that it was going to be a challenge pursuing, let's say, 4 or 3 or 6 years of medicine. So really well done to everyone who even is considering or even is watching now, because you are one step closer, because you are being proactive. You're not just giving up on your dream. So let's move on to the next slide. We'll tell you a little bit about why so many students, thousands of students every year, are going abroad from the UK, from the USA, from Canada, Australia, from all over the planet, from the Middle East, from Africa as well. We have so many students from every corner of the planet who come to us, and they are very enthusiastic about the opportunity of being able to pursue their dream in Europe, and with the experience and with the thought of what it will bring. So the best person to tell you more about this would be Edmund. And I'd like to bring in Edmund here, who speaks to thousands of students every year and always describes to them what are the pros and the cons of going abroad, and guides them based on honesty, based on transparency. And this is always going to be the spirit and the general theme of our discussions in the webinars as advisors. So Edmund.
Thank you, Osman, for the introduction. Everyone, hello, and thank you guys for joining us. It's a beautiful day, and I know you'd rather be somewhere, but you chose to spend it with us. Now, we're always really excited to welcome you guys, and that's because we see how passionate you are and serious about pursuing medicine. Now, for example, in the UK, most students that we speak to, they were inspired to pursue medicine due to wanting to become doctors as kids. Some students that we speak to are, they've had life experiences or an ill parent or a family member that really drove them to wanting to become doctors. And also the pandemic has really helped and inspired a lot of students, seeing what all the hard work that the healthcare professionals are doing, and really encourages them to want to become doctors. And we really love seeing students like you, In the UK, for example, UCAS application rose to about almost 48,000. That is a lot of applications for UK universities to handle. We also speak to students from other countries like the US, Australia, New Zealand, and they're also as inspired and encouraged, just like you guys are, to want to become doctors. And they have the same obstacles. They have so many applications, and the competition then becomes really fierce. So when students come to us, we really have to understand what they're looking to do. A lot of these students are really nervous about going abroad. Some students, as young as 18 have never left their home country. And so the thought of going to another country is very daunting. How are you going to find the right universities? Who's going to be there? Are you just going to be thrown in the university and then, we wish you well, and then, you survive out there in the next 6 or 4 years, or however many years you decide to study. Now, there are so many benefits of really studying abroad. And really to help you explain that, I like to bring in Dana, who is also one of the expert student advisors, who's really going to break down the amazing benefits of all the students like Dr. Sam, who have the benefits of studying abroad. Dana?
Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining us. And it's always a pleasure to have you guys and to always see students with a passion of becoming doctors who refuse to say no, who refuse to stop, and always insist on going after the dream and achieving it. So I'm going to tell you about the advantages of traveling abroad. Studying in Europe. Europe has been attracting a lot of students from different countries, and it's been very popular for medicine for years. Best doctors have graduated from Europe, and unfortunately, lots of students find it very hard and don't have the opportunity to join medicine and study what they love, do what they were meant to do. What they are passionate about. They don't have the opportunity because of several reasons. Some students because of the competition in their countries, just like what Edmund was talking about, the UK. We all know how the UK is very competitive and it's very hard to study medicine or dentistry in it. Germany, USA, Canada, etc. So the best part about Europe that it's given students opportunities to study there, and lots of students don't know about it. We always have students who come to us telling us, I saw your link online and I would like to get more information, but please, I need something in English. I can't spend 2 years studying a new language. They don't know that there are universities offering medicine courses which are fully taught in English language. And that's a best advantage about Europe, is that you don't have to learn the new language. The university will be teaching you in English, the whole course, and they will also be giving you 2 hours a week to help you learn the local language, just so you can go around, find your way around in the country and just learn the basics. Hello, how are you? And students usually find it a very nice opportunity to travel. It's a nice experience. And also what they enjoy is meeting students from different countries. They love this. Students usually always come telling us their feedback after they go to Europe and say, I have met people that I never thought I would ever meet. And meeting people from different countries is really helpful to open your mind, to get to know the world and know what's going on outside the box. And especially when students go back to their home countries during the summer vacations, they organize shadowing a doctor in their home country or a relative who's a doctor. They all come back to Europe, to the university during the academic year and tell each other about this experience. And it gets really exciting where you get to hear a lot of stories. You get to meet a lot of doctors from different countries, and also you make connections for your future. Another good advantage of Europe is the low tuition fees. They are very affordable. We all know how expensive it is to study medicine, especially in the UK. Another example, UK, USA, Canada. So students usually find affordable universities in Europe. Usually the tuition fees range between 5,000 euros per year up to 25,000 euros per year. And we have around 45 universities in different countries where we are here to help you. When you come to us, we are here to look at several factors with you. We are here to inform you, and that's why we want you to come to us. We don't want you just to apply to any university. We want you to come to us, to ask us all the questions you have, because we know that you have so many questions and you have so many concerns. It's not easy for you to leave your country, your parents, to go to a completely new country where you don't know anybody there without knowing anything about the place. So that's what we are here for. Please, if anybody has any questions, feel free to get in touch with us, to ask us as many questions as you want so we can give you all the information you need. So we'll talk about the qualifications. Lots of times students don't manage to get into their home countries into medicine because they don't have the required grades that, for example, in the UK, they require A-levels and they require very high grades. In the Middle East, we have a lot of students from the Middle East who come with 90%, and the university requires 95%. So that's what we are here for, to help you find a university that meets your requirements. They are very flexible with the requirements. They don't pick on a specific number of or a specific average. They look at we create a strong competitive file for you, submit it to the university. They look at what you have, and you will manage to get an acceptance based on several factors: your grades, your achievements, the file, your level in English language. The best part also about Europe is when you want to apply to study medicine in English, all you have to provide is proof of language proficiency, of English language proficiency, which is always easy for all of you guys to get because we all speak English. And also a nice thing is the experience going to Europe. you get to see nice places, nice views, go on trips, short trips with your friends around Europe, meeting students from different countries, as we mentioned before. So the environment itself, leaving your home country, not giving up on your dream, going to a place that's affordable, going to a place where you can get in with the qualifications you have. These are all the advantages of going to Europe. So we look forward to having you guys join us in Europe. And I'll let you go, Osman, and continue.
Okay, thank you, Dana. Exactly, very exciting stuff. How we're going to help you and why students choose to study medicine abroad. It's not just for the parties, of course, and the holiday. It's a lot more than that. All right, so let's move on to what is it like to study medicine in Europe? What is the education system like? I would like to ask Dr. Sam, who's been through the journey already and graduated as a doctor, to give you more information about the route that he took and how he was able to succeed through it.
Hello, everyone. Nice to see you all. So yeah, I'm here with a friend that I've met actually at university, Dr. Saranga. Right, that's the upper. So yeah, our entry, what we did was we had previous degrees in different fields, and we thought we'd go into dentistry to study abroad to better yourself and just to get into what you want to do. So for us, we went at different years, we met up later. But for me, it was the whole idea of getting into dentistry through alternative pathways. I applied in the UK. I didn't want to do the 4-year course. I applied for that, but it's very competitive. A lot of people have previous degrees and wanting to do this short course. I didn't get accepted for that. And I had a friend, a good friend that just came back from Latvia where I went to study. And he said, go there, 5 years, the time will fly. You'll come back fully qualified. And so I signed up, went, and had a smooth ride in terms of all the academic work, and the actual level of the education that we had there was very high level in Europe, and a lot less litigation and issues regarding patient handling and seeing different procedures. So it was very free for us to go and join. If we wanted to get close with the professor, we asked them, well, can we come and sit and watch you monitor to do different procedures, and even assist in some operations as well. So as part of our curriculum, we had to do maxillofacial surgery, and we had students and colleagues placing implants, mini plates, that is unheard of in the UK. So you do get a really good opportunity, but you've got to go out and push to take and these little perks with it as well. But yeah, so this was the kind of my experience. Do you want to say?
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I mean, I think you get such a broad range of experience with professors. They're very relaxed. So, like, as long as you are keen, actually, you can usually go and do like quite a few surgical extractions, watch a few different types of procedures. If you're really keen to do that, that opportunity is there. And if what I also was really attracted to the course that I was on was this really small group sizes. So normally in a UK setting, you'll have maybe 30 or 40 different students students per class, but within our sort of practical groups there was like no more than 8 or 9, so you get really good hands-on training, patient training with the professor within direct contact with them for most of the period. So the actual practical surgical side of it, which dentistry is really heavily focused on, when you leave you have these sort of hand skills that you need to acquire, you get very high level exposure to. So I felt very comfortable going in and say doing crown preps or fillings or bridges and stuff like that. I didn't feel like it wasn't something I'd not done before when I got back to the UK.
Sorry to jump in. I just had a question. Just wondering. So, as dentists over there, you seem to concentrate a lot on clinical work and practical work. Did you feel quite ready when you came back to the UK? You felt you could just jump in and start work as soon as you sorted out your documents and your registration, or did you feel like you needed a bit more extra practical experience?
For me, when I came back, I joined the NHS straight away. So you have, first day for me coming back was 24, 25 patients per day. So the amount of patients that you get to see from the start was overwhelming. So normally we'd have a lot less patients to deal with, treatment plan, but the NHS system, you go in, you jump, you have to treatment plan, give them the list of needed treatments, ideal treatments, and alternative options and things that they can have, and then move to the next. And you've only got that 15-minute window per patient. So it felt very rushed. But once you've done a couple of weeks, it felt, okay, you're getting into the swing of things. But also then that's when treatment started. So the booking times got longer for treatment slots. And it kind of slowed down a day a bit as well that way. So starting off, it was a bit of pressure getting used to the note-taking systems that we're using. We didn't have any training. So you just get pushed into the deep end. But you really do feel that your skills of treating the patient is there. And that's when you start to get that work coming in, you feel more relaxed, and that's when it starts to flow a lot better. That's how I felt when I first started.
Yeah, 100%. Like the first few weeks, you're kind of thrown into a new system, and obviously you're kind of like I guess like a consultant in a way, because you're the only one in the room. You're responsible for these people who come in. You don't really have, like, you do have a supervisor, but they're usually quite busy with their own patients and stuff. So you're thrown into it, but as long as if you do need help, you can ask for it. And I think for me, the big thing was a note taking, because the UK, you kind of have to say everything you did to a high level so that you have documented all the aspects of the procedure. So, but again, you get templates and things like that.
But we have to mention, we didn't do the DFT program.
True. Yeah.
So if you wanted to come in, you can join the NHS, go through all the kind of stages and things. And a lot of people, it's like the same as the foundation year for dentists in the UK. It's the same system, but for us, we had alternative requirements and things for that. We had to have a mentor. So I had a mentor, a friend, but he just threw me in, and that was it. We start working, and you fulfill those other tasks on the side. But with somebody else coming in through the dental foundation, if you're going through that system, you do have a very slow start. The first week, you're just shadowing your mentor and things like this, and you build up very slowly.
I would recommend actually, like, if you can get like a soft landing into your first few weeks, so you're not like, because we went straight in there.
Yeah.
And actually looking back, you learn a ton from doing that. You get sort of I don't know, there's a lot of growth involved with that, as your patient handling gets slicker and you get quicker and that. But if that I can imagine that being quite overwhelming for some people.
Yeah.
Like, but if you may feel that way, you can certainly ask to decrease your patient list or spread out the number of patients you see in your first few weeks.
Very interesting. Yeah, I think the reason you guys have handled it really well, and I think I can relate a little bit to it, and because maybe I've been in touch with a lot of graduates and kind of helped them set back the UK setting and to come back to register with GMC for medicine or the GDC for dentistry. What I see with graduates from Europe is because they've been kind of thrown already in the deep end in Latvia and Bulgaria and Romania, where they don't know the language, they don't know how to communicate with the patient properly. So they seem to kind of just get on with things, and they gain a lot of confidence by having that independence, which you guys seem to have. And that's why I think you've managed to fit straight in and get going. And I think most people who do go to Europe, I think this is one of the great advantages that is hidden, like the dark horses, where it really builds your character. It gives you that confidence that, yeah, I can do this, this, and this. And then the little small things like note-taking and keeping track of all your procedures and stuff like that kind of can fit in. And maybe it's a good tip. Maybe the future dentists in here, they can read up on those templates before they come. And yeah, I would encourage people to do the exact route you, Mustafa and Doctor here, that have done, because I think they would have enough confidence to deal with things, because I think that's what Europe does to you. It really grows your character and confidence. And that's one of the nice things. And I'm glad you guys have done that. So it's really cool.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Saz and Dr. Sami and Dr. Sami as well. It's always great to listen to doctors and people that have gone through the journey and succeeded, because it's really exciting. It gives everyone, I believe, all the students as well, a thrilling feeling that I can become this one day. You know, I can become a doctor, I can become a dentist one day, and I'm gonna enjoy the challenges of becoming part of the front lines of the NHS. You know, you can become this very soon. It's only 5 years, like Dr. Mustafa is saying. 5-6 years, it passes like this, you know, it's very fast. It passes so quickly.
Well, sorry to cut you, Osman, but now there's even the graduate entry. When me and Mustafa also studied together at Leeds University. He did biomedical sciences, I did human physiology there. But we didn't have the option of graduate entry as well when we went. And this is something that we pursued as Medlink, and with a lot of the students here on the panel, we kind of got together and tried to find the graduate entry courses and introduce this idea to Europe, because it was mainly a British idea and the American idea. And when we introduced it to them, that people because I think Mustafa here would relate that we've done like science related degrees. And when we went, we found the actual kind of theoretical content very easy. I really kind of whizzed through year 1, 2, and 3. It was not a challenge at all for me, because already I've done quite a lot of the sciences. And that's why I would encourage people who are graduates not to be worried and say, oh, I want to become a proper doctor and I want to do it from year 1. No, go for the graduate entry. It's not too concentrated, and you will do really well. Because the clinical work as a doctor as well is really available. You can enter and do a lot of procedures, hands-on, treat, diagnose patients, and get that experience and get that confidence that we're talking about. Because one of the main issues, I have seen this with every single person wanting to go abroad, they feel like, okay, because I didn't get in my country, UK, America, whatever it is, I'm going to go to a class B or option B or option C, and I'm going to come back as a less trained or less qualified doctor than the people who graduate from the country where I'm going to practice, Ireland, UK, whatever it is. But this is completely not true, by the way. Science is science, medicine is medicine. Everything is online, all the information is online nowadays, and all the medical research, the latest knowledge is available if you need the theory. But medicine is about practice, is about spotting those symptoms, is about the questions you ask the patient. It's about, and no one can teach you this. This you can only gain it from experience, from talking to many patients, from sitting in front of people and saying, okay, he made this movement on his neck. Okay, so he has gastro reflux. Immediately you kind of spot these things. When someone says, I have pain this way, coming up and down. So these small things, you start to spot them when you get in touch with many patients. And that's one thing that people actually undervalue about Europe and think they're going to be less qualified doctors or lesser doctors, but this is not true at all. You will come back as a much more confident doctor, like you saw the guys, the dentists, and also you will have a lot of hands-on experience as well as like relationships with the patients. Even though you don't speak the language, many of my colleagues never learned the local language, like in Romania, but a lot of the students and the other patients, they spoke some English, or other Romanian students used to translate, or the Romanian doctors, and they learned a lot of these simple diagnosis skills and treatments that they are using now in the UK, and they're really successful at their jobs, and they're actually moving up the ranks quite a lot faster than other people, because they have a well-rounded knowledge and a very good people skills as well. So let Osman move on.
Thank you, Dr. Sam. Just before we move on, I have a question for Dr. Mustafa and Dr. Yaz as well. So one student is asking, which is a question that we get often, do you think that because you studied abroad, you had a different did people treat you differently or see you as a lesser doctor from somebody who graduated from the UK or studied in the UK?
I didn't really get that kind of experience. I think when it's very rare, like you get questioned like where you studied by patients, and it happened to me once or twice whilst in my first 2 years of working. And I think what they want to see is the confidence, really. They want to see that confidence that they're going to be well looked after, that you're there to getting to know them, what their fears are, what their apprehensions are, what their dental concerns are. And if you're comprehensive with your approach, all that stuff flies out the window, really. If you can show a certain level of care, and I don't know, I didn't really think about that too much. It just didn't enter my mind really, because I felt like when I look at my work now, because I take a lot of photos now for my work, because I work completely privately now, because it's been like 5 years now. I'm flown, so I take a lot of photos of my work, and I look at the way we were trained in Riga, and it was to a really high standard. Like it was to a standard that allowed me to sort of develop and do things better clinically. So I just look at the hard skills and what I was taught, and I take confidence in that really.
I agree with that point very strongly, because we were told always to use rubber dam isolation, the gold standard of techniques of fillings and everything, even amalgams. We were trained to always put the rubber dam on just for training to place the rubber dam in difficult situations, because you normally place it with poor isolation and things, but still placing that rubber dam was one of the key points that the examiners wanted to see you do on teachers on the mentoring sessions that you had. But when you come to the NHS, there's no rubber dam. You feel like you're actually pulling back a lot of your skills.
Most students in the UK don't even get taught that. They're not even expected to use a rubber dam and stuff like that. So those techniques are not really demanded of students in the UK. So that was one big deficiency where I felt very grateful that we had that opportunity now, although it was harder at the time when I was actually a student. Now when I'm in practice, it's just doing those really high-end things are very much like second nature to me now. So
when I first came to the UK, back from studying, to get a job for me was quite easy. My CV was quite strong in terms of what I've achieved just at university. We placed implant before graduation in the B course. And also someone else mentioned about, Sammy was saying about graduating beforehand and not having a graduate entry. For Latvia, when I was applying, I actually got discounted because I could omit some modules from my course. So I had some discounted from those modules. I had missed biology and things, and it came as a discount, and I had more free time to do other things or learn the language a little bit more. But in terms of feeling kind of racism and things like this, or discouraged as taking a job, I didn't feel that at all. My CV was nice and strong, and I was actually approached by someone saying, "Oh, I can mentor you to fulfill this requirement of the NHS." So he came to me for this after knowing from a small group of people, and that's where I found that. And then I moved as well closer to Sheffield area to start working there for the mentorship. That's how. But I didn't feel anything. I had some racism from some patients not wanting to see me because of my name, but you'll find that everywhere. But as soon as they came into the room, you
don't need to tolerate that as a clinician wherever you're from. Like there's no place for that in the NHS. You can always refuse to see a patient who does that. It's not that kind of thing happens. So
Okay, thank you. That's really insightful. I think that gives a lot of reassurance to students, because students worry usually that, oh, I'm going abroad, I'm going to get a substandard education. No, it's actually the opposite. You're going to learn some techniques that are more advanced and sometimes more, culturally as well suitable. For example, you'll learn things that you would not see in the UK, and you will see diseases that you will not see in the UK, which is amazing. And, imagine being the only doctor on the ward or dentist on the ward who knows what that disease is or knows how to use that piece of equipment, like our dentists are saying. So thank you for that contribution. That's, I think, reassures a lot of students that actually the education, medicine is medicine wherever you go. That's what's important that you understand. And so is dentistry as well. So I think we've covered quite in detail here the courses, and we've gone through them. Thank you for the success stories from our dentists and doctors. We should move on, not to keep you guys waiting too much. So let's talk about the best universities that are the most popular at the moment, especially with the current situation, because it's a little bit late in the year. So you're probably considering now where to go, and you're a little bit confused. So we're here to guide you and help you with that. So these are the most popular universities that currently students are heading towards. And a lot of these universities have very good reputation as well. And they have a big number of UK international students, UK, Australian, American, African, and all sorts of places. So we've had quite a big diversity of students from these places. I'd like to ask our advisor, Tom, who always speaks every day to students. about these universities, and we will go through these universities now with our students who will tell you more about them. Tom, it's a little bit late in the year now, so what do you think would you tell students generally about where the best place to go would be?
I would say it all depends on them and their preferences, and that's exactly what we do. Every time we speak to students on the phone, we ask them lots of questions, we find out all about them, you know, what are they looking for? Because we know how important it is that a student is not only safe, not only comfortable, but also very happy and confident with their choice. And when they're over there, we want them to feel the same way. Because medicine or dentistry is no walk in the park. Everyone knows this. So you want to make sure you're choosing the best place for you. This is another great advantage to studying in Europe, is there is just so much variety. Whether you're looking for somewhere that's affordable, you're looking for somewhere that allows you to do research opportunities, perhaps you're looking for somewhere that will accept a slightly different qualification than the usual qualifications. Say you've done a BTEC in the UK instead of A-levels, for example. There are universities that will be there to suit you. Some of them will obviously have different climates if you're looking into things like that as well. There's just so much opportunity. And then again, in terms of the finances, the universities range in Europe from as little as around £3,000 a year up to £30,000 a year. So there's so much difference there, and there's always going to be something to suit everyone. It's just about asking lots of questions, doing lots of research, and just finding the one that sits best with you. And then obviously we take it from there and do everything we can to help you get a place there.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you, Tom. Some really exciting options here and amazing opportunities to be able to pursue what you love, what you've always dreamed of. So we'll allow our students to actually tell you about these universities, because who best to tell you about universities other than coming from the mouth of the person who's experienced it firsthand, who's on the campus themselves. And this is what we always ensure students have experience with. And that will be Georgia. I'll ask Megana. Megana has been on her hospital shift, but she just messaged me 10 minutes before now and said she can speak. So thankfully, Megana, would you be able to chip in a little bit and tell us about your experience at European University in Tbilisi?
Yeah, sure. So hello everyone, my name is Meghna. I'm from India. I'm a recent graduate from European University. I'm from medicine, and it is a 6-year course. So one question which arises in everyone's mind is that, is it safe going abroad, or is it worth it? So as everyone knows, life is all about taking risks. So I decided to take one. So I had wonderful experiences pursuing medicine in this university. Lecturers are very cooperative and supportive in our academics, and university has many tie-ups with hospitals and also research centers, which helps us and students to gain more exposure with the patient and also to do the research under the lecturer's supervision. So there is one issue that everyone mainly has, is that the language, like, do we have to learn the language and all? So the main language that they tell us, they explain the material and everything is English. But while we are working with the patients, we need some basic communication, and like while in the tourism and like visiting places all around. So for 2 semesters, we have the local language we learn once a week. And we start our clinical practice during 3rd year, and we can also assist in operations too. Along with this, we also have conferences which are conducted by our universities as well as other universities in the cities. So where we can represent our universities if it is in some other university it is occurring. So which is a great opportunity to share the knowledge and also to take the new knowledge. So at the end, we are appreciated by the prizes and certificates and all. So apart from this and working in the hospitals and all, so we also have, like, for the new students, we have an app called the Body Interact. So in this, the students get to have experience in a big platform which is arranged in the university, so that it is a simulated patient, and where the patient, like where the student can gain the experience as in the hospital. And apart from this, we also have exchange programs in many European countries, where we can see how the other universities has their curriculum and the experience it for a shorter time. I was selected to go to Turkey for about 1 week, and we also apart from this, we also earn scholarships based on our academic performances. So these exchange programs are mainly because of the tie-ups the university has with many many countries across the Europe, and recently they have tied up with Ukraine and also Korea. And there is also one organization called the IFMSA. So they give us more opportunities to all the countries in the Europe. So apart from this, we also celebrate many festivals and also have some extracurricular activities like sports to release our tension. So the main thing we like is that the festival thing, because it helps us to gain more as a support on emotional support for us. And apart from this, the cost about the living cost, it is very affordable. It is around $200 to $250 per month. This is from starting. And if someone wants luxury life, it can go up till $350. And during and one more thing, most of the students were asking is that what were the circumstances in the COVID. So one full semester was online, but after that we were called back to Tbilisi, and it was a hybrid approach where it was offline and online, because we had both clinical and non-clinical subjects. For clinical subjects, we had to go to the university and also hospitals. So even I was very skeptical about coming to abroad, but now I feel have chosen the right path. And Medlink creates a wonderful platform, helping all the students to connect on a global level and use the knowledge in choosing the right choice by yourself. Because while I was there, it was very hard and I had to go through a lot of trouble. But now for the upcoming students, it is a very great opportunity. So thank you for Medlink for the opportunity to share my experience.
Fantastic. Thank you, Meghana. Wow. Lots of information, lots of exciting stuff. Really nice to see you succeeded throughout those 6 years and graduated as a doctor. And now you're doing your internship and working and doing what you love and giving back to the community. Really well done. Amazing. It must feel really nice and really great. And I hope you guys as well will feel the same as well, and we'll give you the platform to be able to encourage more students like you to pursue the same journey. So thank you for sharing your experience there, Meghana. Okay, we'll go to the next one, and that is Romania. So we'll ask Rihan here to come in and describe how he's found his experience of the uncertainties at the start and then eventually deciding to go to Romania.
Thank you, Osman. Good afternoon, everyone. Yeah, I'm studying, I'm one of the volunteer students. I'm studying in Romania, Craiova University. My background is I've done biomedical science and then nursing, and then I've worked with lots of patients, but the passion was to study medicine from a very early childhood. So I really wanted to get into a medical school, but we know that in the UK, it is almost impossible due to the competition. So I've approached Medlink many times, at least 3 years of research behind Medlink. And then it's about believing that there are passage that you can get into medical school if you couldn't get in the UK. So, I mean, to travel from London to Romania, it's only 3 hours or something. And the cost of ticket is 40. So I would say it's not so scary. Once you made your mind up and you've done your application form, you can quite kind of easily get into a med school, and then your hard work begins. So in terms of my experience, it was very difficult to believe that I will be ever get into a medical school. But Medlink has made that possible for me. Craiova Medical School is a very modern medical school. It's attached to a hospital about 5 minutes walk from. the hospital, sorry, from the uni. The studies, I finished my first semester, second semester is done, and I've managed to pass all my exams. And for the specialist practice for the summer, you are allowed to do the back in your countries. So actually, it was more about mentally preparing yourself to go abroad. But once you applied and once you've gone there, you get to meet a lot of students from EU, from Germany, from France, from Italy, and things doesn't look so scary after all. But as I've said, if you've done a biomedical science, if you've done a nursing degree, if you've done anything on the side, it all counts towards your degree. It's all experience. But in my case, I say I should have got on board 3 years ago. I could have been in third or fourth year, but I've managed to get in, and Medlink has always was on the support right from the beginning till the end, and even till now. Even we do contact them for any queries, and they're very helpful. So my advice is get on board. Yes, of course, do your research, and the more earlier you get in, the better it is. You'll be in senior, and you'll fulfill your dream to be a doctor. I mean, if you couldn't get in the UK, you should still embark on that journey and get that done. Thank you, Osman. Sorry, I can't hear you, Osman.
You're muted, Osman.
Oh, my bad. I was saying thank you, Rihan. It's a very fascinating and motivational story seeing you transform from a nurse in the UK to becoming a doctor and starting your journey in medicine in Romania. It's really fascinating and really nice to see, and I hope it inspires other students like you as well. So let's move on to Bulgaria as well. Bulgaria, where Dr. Akaf has graduated recently as a dentist. So Akaf, would you like to give us a little bit of an overview of your experience for the past 6 years of studying dentistry there?
Good evening, guys. My name is Akaf. So I recently graduated a week ago, and 6 years of hard work is finally over. The 6 years probably been some of the best years of my life. Honestly, you need to enjoy this time, and it's, let's say, so I'm studying in Plovdiv. Started in 2015, and when I first came here, I had a lot of apprehensions. I wasn't really sure what I was in for. My first impressions weren't fantastic, but over the years, it's really won me over, and I think I'm really going to miss the uni, the city of Plovdiv, and Bulgaria in general. In terms of the teachers, at first, they might seem not approachable as, let's say, UK teachers or professors, but once you build that understanding, they're absolutely fantastic. They're some of the best teachers, or the best professors you can find within their profession. And in terms of the equipment, that's another idea or thought process where I thought they might not be on par with the UK, but it turns out that a lot of the equipment and teaching standard is actually on par, if not better, than a lot of the dental schools in the UK. In terms of the lifestyle, well, Bulgaria and in general Plovdiv provides a lot. It's very close to Romania, Turkey as well, 3 hours away from, let's say, Turkey, a couple of hours away from Greece. 3 or 4 from Romania as well, and for winter you've got literally you're an hour away from the ski resorts, and in summer you're 2 or 3 hours away from sort of beach resorts. And so in terms of lifestyle, it provides a lot. In terms of comparing to the UK, and because I've been to uni in the UK as well, and comparing to the SU and the activities available, in my opinion, it provides a lot. You might think that it might not do, but there's a lot of societies out here. A lot of students have made a lot of groups, and Plovdiv over the past 3 or 4 years in general has improved a lot. They've opened up many malls. The university's expanded. They've got new buildings, which are probably better than some of the buildings that you might see in UK unis. So yeah, in terms of the Bulgarian culture, it's really interesting. It might take a bit of time to get used to Bulgarian people, and the language barrier can be a bit of an issue as well. But once you pick the language up, Bulgarian people are incredibly friendly, and they're very approachable as well. So yeah, it's I'm looking forward to going back to the UK now. I'm literally just in the middle of packing up. So yeah, if you've got any questions, I'm available to sort of answer your questions. Cheers, thanks for your time.
Thank you, Dr. Akaf. That was brilliant. Okay, so if you guys have any questions at all, you can shoot at us in the Q&A section, and we'll try to answer them for you. So Nikhil, you're also a student. I remember I was the advisor of Nikhil 4 years ago, and helped him come, and I picked him up at the airport, and now you're in 3rd or 4th year, I believe.
Yeah, so thank you, Osman, for the introduction, and a warm welcome to everyone here. So I'm Nikhil. I've just finished my 3rd year of med school here at the University of Varna in Bulgaria. So like most of you viewing this, you would have applied to your home country to do medicine, just like I did. But due to the fierce competition there and the lack of spaces, I wasn't successful. But I had my heart set on medicine, so I decided to research some more. And I came across Medlink and the opportunity to study medicine abroad in Europe. So upon my initial chat with Medlink, they were very friendly and courteous, very welcoming. And after I had my discussion with them, we decided that I wanted to apply to Bulgaria. The application process was really straightforward and stress-free for myself. Medlink took care of every legalities and all of the other administrative work that you had to do. Medlink, they also go the extra step in that Osman was able to organize a tour of Varna for me. And he also gave me exam preparation for the entry exams here. This really helped me with my misconceptions about Bulgaria, and it really gave me a great insight into what I was going to be doing for the 6 years here. Medlink, they also helped me settle in here, find accommodation, help me with my immigration, cards, mobile SIMs, everything else you'd need to settle in here. It's really reassuring that they can help you throughout the 6 years here and beyond. On studying in Bulgaria, the tuition fees are quite uniform in the whole country, so they vary from 7,000 to 8,000 euros, depending on the university. And the quality of education here, I would say, is really high, and it's very similar to what you would expect in all the other countries around Europe. The teachers, they're very friendly, flexible, and lenient. They'll support you inside of class and outside, so you won't have any problems with your learning here. And one thing that's really impressed me in Bulgaria is the transition to online learning here during the pandemic. We have an online platform here, and it's been really easy to use, really straightforward. And now the studying is going great here. Living costs, so that's a massive benefit here because it's 2 to 3 times cheaper than what you'd find in the UK. So you can easily get an apartment here for the same price that you'd get like a small little room in the UK. My life outside of studying here in Bulgaria, it's been absolutely fantastic. And you'll find that there's always something for you to do here, whether it's going to the beach, going to the city, going to the bars, the restaurants, the malls, the sporting facilities are in Varna here. There's always something for you to do. So you will never be bored here. And finally, on making lifelong relationships here, making friends, what you find when you come studying abroad, leaving your parents here, is that everyone here is in the same boat as you, all in a similar situation, and they'll be very supportive here. So you'll find friends for life here. There's no doubt about that. And the students from the upper years, they'll always be there to support you, whether it's with tips for exams or giving you working material. You won't have a problem at all here. So the final takeaway message I'd give is that if you have your heart set on medicine, please don't be afraid. Medlink's here to help you. They'll answer any questions you have, and they'll be here to support you throughout your journey in medicine. So thank you, Osman.
Thank you, Nikhil. This is the first time Nikhil comes on the webinar. I think that was a really good speech, and you gave a really good breakdown of your experience. It's very insightful for students who would like to study in Bulgaria. Nikhil came to the university I studied at in Varna, really nice university. And Sofia and Trakia and Plovdiv, all nice universities as well. Okay, so let's move on to Aryan. This is Aryan's second appearance this time on the webinar. Welcome back. So Aryan, what would you like to tell our students this time then about your experience and maybe some additional information that you think would help them?
Hi everyone, so I just want to start off by saying hi, my name is Aryan. I'm a first year student at Białystok Medical University, which is in Poland. And I want to say I've had a very, very nice experience so far this year. It was, you know, if I was to go back one year back from now, I don't think I would expect it to be as good as it actually was. Because I expected to, you know, it would be a nice experience, but I don't think it would be as good as it actually was. So I want to start off by saying why I would recommend studying where I'm currently studying. I would say first off, Poland is a very cheap country compared to England. I would say for around 400 to 500 pounds, you would be able to find yourself a really big, nice apartment. And especially Białystok, which is the city where I live. For example, Warsaw is the capital of Poland because it's such a like tourist, you know, rich city. I would say the apartments and everything is very expensive compared to Białystok. But like I said, here, 400, maybe even 300 pounds, you would get one of the nicest apartments available in the city. I want to say that the location where the students are living in is very, I would say, close to each other. So for example, where I live in the dorms. The dorms are around 10 minutes away from the city center, very close to the other students, because a lot of the students tend to rent apartments which are 5 minutes away from the dorms, and it's like one massive building, and it's a very popular building when it comes to students. So I would say, you know, let's say if you make really good friends here, it is very likely that they will be 5 to 10 minutes away from you. You know, like if you want to see each other, it will definitely not be a problem. The dorms cost 750 zloty, which is around 150 pounds per month. And I would say, in my opinion, they have very good facilities. The rooms are very comfortable. Everyone has like their own toilets and fridge. I've made, for example, very good friends with my roommate. He's a 5th-year Spanish student. He is now going into 6th year. Unfortunately, he's moving out. But like I said, I made really good friends with him, and I enjoy like actually living next to him. But you know, that's just, yeah. Uni is around 15 minutes from the dorms, as well as the apartments. The most you'll walk, I would say, to another location in the whole of the city will be no more than 20 minutes walk to where you actually, you know, you want to travel. There's also going to be, you know, places where you might, you know, travel a little further than that. Well, I would say, you know, even if you get like a taxi, it will be no more than like a 10-minute taxi, or, you know, and also taxi is very cheap. I would say the longest journey will cost you no more than £5. And we also have Bolt scooters, which are like, let's say £2 for 20 minutes ride, and they're like really fast and fun to ride as well. Everything is generally close to each other when it comes to like main locations. And let's say even if you are in groups and you go out, let's say on the weekends, you know, it's like the evening and you guys want to go out and stuff. Yeah, another, you know, group from the university will be 5 minutes away, so you guys will be able to everyone see each other. It's actually happened this year a lot of times where all the main events I was able to see all like majority of the university students in like a main location. So I was, you know, that kind of opened me up to getting to know a lot of the students from all the years, and that was quite enjoyable. The city is also 2 hours train journey from Warsaw, which is the capital. And I would say that we went there a few times this year, and it was a very nice experience to see, you know, the whole of the capital city and everything. I would say also it was good, like, you know, for like a change. However, because the city is a bit loud and busy, I still would kind of, for myself at least, I'm actually kind of quite happy where I am now compared to if I was to actually live in Warsaw. The fact that I made so many good connections with people and got involved it actually made me more invited to like events organized by the students, because obviously, as we know, this year we had the coronavirus situation and everything. So a lot of other places were closed. But because of, all the different people that I've met, we've had a lot of really it was a really eventful year, I would say, especially for, what's been happening. Because let's say we even have students which come from like Norway and Sweden, very rich countries, and obviously these people will have apartments that are worth like £600, which right now it might not sound like a lot, but when you come to Poland and you get an apartment for £600, you basically live like a king. I would say, as a first year student, I obviously haven't experienced much from the university because of the virus and everything that's been going on. But what I would say is that the university tries to work with the students rather than always try to go by the theoretical rules, and they're actually not so strict. They're actually more lenient when it comes to work and students, and they want to understand rather than be like, oh no, these are the rules, this is what you have to do and that's it. They're they would sometimes let you off with a few things, and they've been really tolerant with us this year. I would say it helped us a lot. Obviously they won't be like this for the whole year, but considering all the things they've done, I actually feel really grateful. I would say from the experience, and let's say from school, I've been in the UK for, let's say, 8 years. I've been in the UK for 8 years, and throughout my high school journey, I can comfortably say that the system in the UK seems to be very much towards the rules. I don't think you'll be loved with a lot of things. It's compared to Poland will be more kind of understanding and to work with the students, and rather than just be harsh on the rules that much. I realized that people here from the older years in the university that I go to have made us feel very welcome. They've been very open to get to know us and help us. And I would actually recommend doing this when, let's say, you first come to the city, get to know the older years, because they've had more experience than you. They will actually be, very friendly and actually help you to get to understand a lot of the things. Because I think one of the major issues that the students have, especially the first years, is when they first come to these, especially foreign countries, never mind just at university, but foreign countries where you're not familiar with anything, or you're not familiar with the language, get to know as many older years, because they will help you to understand everything. They'll make the journey a lot more smooth. So I would recommend it. And also when you get to, make good friends with them, they will also invite you to all these different events. For example, this year I've had, I was invited to paintball and different events that we would go to, very enjoyable events, just purely on the fact that I've made friends with all the years. Students here in general seem to be very interconnected. For example, everyone in our year seems to talk to each other, and we're very much in contact with each other. Let's say I won't just have 5 main people that I talk to. It's actually, it's like the whole year is constantly talking to each other. And just because I've made these kind of connections, it helped me a lot with the studies itself. I would say there has been certain subjects which I struggled with. And if I hadn't made those kind of friendships with these people, I possibly wouldn't have maybe even passed those subjects. So I definitely, wouldn't underestimate the power of knowing people, because it will help. It will bring crazy help. The university has its own hospital very close to the location where we're living, with modern facilities, which helps the students get further understanding and perspective into the medical field. And also, I came to Poland last year, at the age of 18. So I would say one of the youngest people. And I realized that a lot of the people in my year are slightly older than me. So let's say we had a lot of students who were in the 20s, above 20s, right? So obviously, usually this would make me feel I'm young and maybe they won't take me seriously, or maybe I won't do as well as them. But there is a lot of people who come from, like I said, countries such as Sweden, Norway, Germany. They're very open to get to know each other and to get to know the cultural differences. And I would say the main thing that kind of put me at an advantage this year is I came with the mindset where I told myself that at the end of the day, everyone is going through the same thing. There is nothing to really be kind of stressed about, because everyone's feeling the same way. It's let's say if I'm thinking, oh, what's going to happen? I'm not going to be ready and everything, and all these kind of negative things that come into my mind. Everyone is on the same thing. But when you actually come in and start talking to everyone, you realize that it's nothing really what you kind of would have thought it would be like. It's a lot more smooth, and everything's not as bad as you actually think it is. I would say that well, because, you know, obviously currently I'm a representative of the company, so I'm not just gonna, you know, come and be like, oh, this is good because this is good and this is good and this is good. This is just kind of my experience, so I'll make sure, you know, that I don't just kind of deceive people into thinking that, oh, this is amazing, and then you know, you finish a journey and you tell me this is kind of like a disaster. This is just kind of me being honest with you, and I'll tell you at the end of all this, if I've made such a good sorry, if I made like such a good let's say like the situation that I'm in, it's because the things that I've had is I made the most out of them. So I went and got to know the most people, and obviously, you know, made all these kind of connections. So you can also go through the same thing as long as you do the right things. And I also want to say that Edmund helped me a lot, which is one of the representatives at Medlinks, because when I first applied to Medlinks, and I just had like an idea of applying, you know, abroad and everything, but Edmund was there. He helped me massively. He kind of actually like explained everything. He was always there to answer any questions. So I just want to say a massive thank you for him. Thank you for listening.
Okay, thank you, Aryan. Wow, were you reading from Wikipedia or something? Plenty of information there. You should write a book. All right, thank you, Aryan. Really detailed and thorough. And yeah, that's really nice of you to volunteer, to give us your time and do it all, to just give back with no expectation of anything in return, to give so much information and so much help to students. That's really nice of you, Aryan, to volunteer to do that. All right.
Honesty was great. Thank you for your honesty. It was very nice.
Yes, thank you for your honesty as well, Aryan.
Thank you.
All right, so admission requirements. Admission requirements are basically, who will speak about admission requirements? Who would like to, out of our advisors? The admission requirements is basically what you need in order to enter university. So I'll ask Edmund to get on a little bit because we're running behind. So admission requirements, should we go through it quickly?
Yes. So most students who come to us, let's be honest, they have, first of all, been tired of all the universities that they apply to in their home countries. You probably no doubt that most of the students that come to us have amazing grades, you know, and they will have the A's, they will have the right MCAT or UCAT scores, and it's still never enough. But rather than keeping applying and instead of not giving up on your dream, most of them come to us. So the most commonly admission requirements for students that are starting from the beginning, i.e. year one of the program, is you need to have an equivalent of grade 12. Most countries go up to grade 12. In the UK, students go up to year 13, which is the A-level standards, and this is also accepted. So biology and chemistry and also maths is also something that's required. You need to have a pass in your sciences, and the universities want to see whether you've got, you know, your basic sciences done. Sometimes you might have to do an entry test on top of the admission or an interview to see what type of student you're going to be. But through all of that, we help you through all. We provide you with the entry test materials. We give you some books that we want you to read. And then for the students that are doing the graduate program, you also need to have a Bachelor of Science with science-related subjects that we can use to apply on your behalf. So whether you have a 2-1 or whatever you have, let us have a look and see. Some students might not have A-levels. Maybe you've done a BTEC equivalent, and this is equivalent to a 3 A-levels. Now let's have a look and see. And even if you don't have that, it's okay. Let's have a chat and see how best we can help you. Over to you.
Brilliant. Thank you, Edmund. Yes, exactly. We put a very strong file for you, no matter what background you have, what qualifications you have. We will make sure that you will have the best possible outcome. And that's what we're here for. We're a team of experts. We've done this for thousands of students. It's time that we do this for you. So send us your documents and let's get started. All right, so let's talk a little bit about how Medlink students can help you and give you some more details on this. So Tom, would you like to expand a little bit on this?
Yes, absolutely. So one of the first things that we say to students when they sign up with ourselves, and that we'll be saying to you when you guys decide to come abroad with us, is welcome to the Medlink Students family. Now, the reason we say this is because we're not just here to get you into a university, we're here to help you at every step along the way. So to start with, it's all about finding the best options for you. So that's when you'd have a call with someone like myself or Edmund or Dana, and we would find out all the details that we need to find out about you as a person. And the reason that we're doing this, you know, from your finances to your personal preferences, your kind of lifestyle, what teaching you like the most, it's all to find out the best options possible for you as a student so that you can thrive and be successful, and so that we can offer you the best possible opportunities. That's step number one. Obviously from there, it's all about the application. I won't bore you with the details, but some applications for applying as an international student can be quite long-winded and quite complicated. So we've got a team that are on hand that do thousands of these applications every single year and help students just like yourself. So you don't have to worry about all of these different complications, because we've got the team there to help you with everything. And that's every single step of the way. This also includes giving you resources to help you prepare for entrance tests as well. So whatever the situation is with the university you choose, we've got you covered. We're there to support you and help you and make sure that you're in the right direction to ensure that your dreams are coming true. So from there, it's all about the relocation. Now, obviously, having a company that was started by doctors who went and did this, they understand the difficulties, the concerns, the stresses that you all have by going to a new country. You know, some of you have lived with your parents your entire lives. You've never gone abroad, you know, by yourself, or gone and lived in a home even within your country by yourself. So it's a big, big thing to do. And that's why we've got our team spread across Europe on the ground that are going to help you when it comes to bank accounts, accommodation, everything that you need. We will be there to support you and to help you through it. And then it's all about the ongoing support. So if you get stuck with something, if you're a bit concerned about something, whether it's in your first year, your first week, or whether it's your final exams at the end of your final year, our team is still going to be there. They're still going to be helping you. They're still going to be there day in, day out, making sure that you're comfortable and that you're happy and that you're being successful, and that everything's working out so that you can go back to your country and become a doctor, which we also will give you our full help, support and backing with. And I'm sure the students will tell you a little bit more about that and their experiences that they've had with our team being able to support them.
Okay, brilliant. Thank you, Tom. I would like to ask Ashok to come in here and tell us a little bit about how Medlink Students has helped you, Ashok, in order to have a smoother and more streamlined journey abroad.
Thank you, Usman. As you know, my name is Ashok. I'm mindful of the time. I think we are coming to the end of the session. I just want to quickly give you some information about myself and also what I saw as my journey, so that could help some people. I was born in India. I always wanted to be a doctor. I tried my level best to enter medical school, which I couldn't. So then I wanted to do my plant science. Then I did my psychology degree, and after then I became a psychologist and a medical social worker. So I came to the UK. That was like 10 years ago now, and then the dream of becoming a doctor was always in my mind. At the moment, I'm just finished my third year medicine preclinical, and I'm moving into fourth year clinical medicine. So for me, when I wanted to do medicine, I did speak to some other people in the NHS, working in the NHS, saying that I would like to do medicine. If I want to do medicine in the UK, I may probably have to be born again, and may I have to take the test again to do the medical degree. So I didn't want that to deter my dreams. So I came across Medlink.
So we'll go through quickly because we're running out of time. Tuition fees, we will not go through it. We'll skip this because on the website, so you just can go to medlinkstudents.com and look at the tuition fees and living costs. It's very straightforward. Regarding the online studies, we'll come back to it at the end. So let's talk a little bit about Brexit. We have a lot of students asking us, the UK is leaving the EU, which was a long time ago. How does this impact me? I'll pass this over to Edmund.
Thank you. So a lot of students are worried about whether or not their degree will be valid back into the UK. In fact, your degree will still be recognized in the UK. The only changes are that the General Medical Council will be introducing a kind of a generalized exam. Because coming back to the UK, you'll be a graduate rather than a student. So what the Medical Council are doing is introducing an exam called the Medical Licensing Assessment. Now, what this exam is to really help and test your competencies as a graduate. So British medical graduates and international medical graduates will be sitting this exam. So it really wouldn't matter where you studied. You know, you can go to Harvard, you can go to Cambridge, and still be able to do this exam. And the whole point of doing this exam is to introduce some more of a common threshold for safe practice. So what the General Medical Council are trying to introduce is to have every student on the same platform. So whether you're a student from the UK or whether you studied abroad, you should have the same competencies. And this is the reason why. So whether we have a hard Brexit or not, whatever happens, you'll still be able to come back and use the degree in the UK. Over to you, Osman.
Thank you, Edmund. Brilliant. So it's very straightforward. Brexit basically does not have a huge impact on students. So another big question that students have is, Edmund, is recognition of degrees. So let's have a chat about this. Would you like to expand a little bit?
Yes. Now, this is something we say quite a lot of, is that the degrees are recognized worldwide. Now, where are these degrees recognized? They're recognized in the UK by the General Medical Council, in Australia by the AMC, which is the Australian Medical Council, also in the US, in Canada, and also in India. Now, when we talk about recognition, we're not saying that it's automatically accepted without any examination. What we're saying is that you have to pass the licensing exam. For example, the current exam that's in play in the UK, if you study outside the European Union, it's called the PLAB exam. Now, if you go to Australia, they have their own licensing exam. And after doing that, then you have your degree recognized. In the US, it's the US medical licensing exam. And in Canada, again, it's their state exam, which is similar to the UK and also Australia. So the degrees are recognized, and we're very particular with the universities that we pick. We want you to become a doctor, and that's all our goal is. And so if we can find a university that meets the overall world standards, that is also recognized and listed in the World Directory, then we'll do everything we can to make sure we find the best ones for you to go to. So in short, yes, the degrees are recognized worldwide.
Thank you, Edmund. Okay, let's go through the next part, which is coming back home. Another very similar kind of question that students have usually. What's the difference on this topic that you'd like to add? Edmund?
Sorry, what was...
Are you there?
Sorry, what was the question?
So coming back home, a lot of students come and ask us, I would like to return back home. I will expand a little bit about on this. So registering with the Medical Council, whether you graduate from an EU country and then you'd go and work in another EU country, usually it's not a big issue and it's very straightforward. But graduating from a non-EU country usually just involves a little bit extra effort. So for example, you'll have to do a small exam or a clinical exam to prove that you are a genuine doctor. But now that the UK has left the EU, there is no more exemption from this exam. Is this correct, Edmund?
So coming back to the UK, now that we've come out of the European Union, there is what the General Medical Council term as the relevant qualification, meaning that when you come back from an EU country, you have to make sure you meet that specific requirement. You have to do an English test, and that's about it. Anyone that studies outside the European Union has to do the PLAB exam, which again is to test your competency. So again, we help students settle back into the system. And that's because we've had doctors that have graduated and dentists that are back into the UK. As a dentist coming back to the UK, if you study within the European Union, currently there isn't a test. Anyone that studies outside the European Union has to do a test called the Overseas Registration Exam, ORE in short. And there are two parts to it. Number one is the multiple choice question. And the second part is the practical side to test your competencies and your skills. Now there is a talk with the General Dental Council with Brexit to introduce this ORE and extend it to all students that are coming back from European countries. So whether you study in the EU or outside, you still need to do it. But coming back, all the students will get support if they do need to basically practice in the UK, and we'll help you settle in and register and every documentation that's needed.
Brilliant. Thank you, Edmund. Yes, exactly. We will help you and support you throughout these steps. Many students and doctors have gone through these steps and they've aced the exams. They've proven to the GMC or to their own medical council in whatever country they're going to that they have all the competencies required to become good doctors in the country. So we will help you with this. We will support you and we'll make sure that you have the best possible outcome always. Okay, let's go over to Emma. Emma has been helping many students organize clinical rotations in the UK, and the reason being is that she successfully did this, where she organized clinical rotations in the UK instead of doing it in the country where she was studying. So Emma, would you like to expand a little bit about this opportunity that's available for students? We can't hear you, Emma. Try again. Okay, Emma, maybe you can exit and then enter again. Let's move to the next slide and you will bring you back after the next slide, okay? All right, so I have here also another service that we offer is transfers. Now, many students usually they go to a university and it's not something that's detrimental. You know, you think a university is suitable for you. Maybe you were given the wrong advice by somebody, or you thought that, okay, you know what, I'll try and apply on my own. I'll see how it goes. Maybe you didn't have the right guidance. So I would like to ask Kashif to expand a little bit about his experience, about how he ended up in a university that then he decided it wasn't for him. And then he had another idea, came to us, and we helped him move to another university. So I'll let Kashif give you more details on this.
Hi everyone, my name is Kashif. So I'll give you a brief background. So I'm actually a practicing pharmacist in the UK. So I've been practicing for the past 5 years and I've tried graduate entry medicine multiple times. The most successful attempt I had was at an interview stage, but still I didn't get anywhere further than that. So what happened was I wanted to do medicine from a long time, since probably at the age of 16. But because of family issues and obviously because I'm the only son, and there's been a lot of problems in my own family, so I never pursued it and I just went on and did pharmacy. But medicine was still in my heart. So later on, I practiced as a pharmacist for a few years, and then I came across graduate entry medicine abroad. And I thought, okay, this is interesting. I'm thinking 4 years, it's not a problem, that's fine. And so I went with an agency, a well-reputable agency. I'm not going to give names or anything, even the university, just for obviously confidential reasons. And what appealed to me was about graduate entry was at the time when I applied, it was 4 years. And I thought to myself, okay, 4 years is doable because 6 years of commitment, especially when you're a graduate, it's quite difficult. But hats off to most students who, even as a graduate, did spend 6 years. For me, it wasn't feasible. And I thought, okay, I'm going to go with the graduate entry. Then COVID hit. And then I was told, oh, okay, so you don't have to go attend a university. So your first year is all online. And I thought, okay, that's fine. I'm saving a lot of cost here. So as I going along to the university, doing the exams, doing everything, there's something that didn't feel right about the university and didn't feel anything. Like every time I tried to actually communicate with the university. There was no communication. Every time I tried to speak to the agency, there was no direct answers. There was always wishy-washy, always being flogged off. And I just thought to myself, something's not right here. So I decided, you know what, since COVID calmed down around about March time, and I decided I'll go to visit the university and I need to sort my situation out in terms of exams, etc. First thing I went into university, I wasn't even acknowledged that I was a student, which really hit me hard. I thought to myself, well, I've been studying in this university for a year and you're saying that you got no record of me. I was like, okay, what's going on here? And at the time I was thinking, okay, this is what am I supposed to do? So I did my exams, went back, and then I came back again because I had to organize my practicals. And what happened was then is I first found out the university was put on the May accept list. And I was thinking to myself, hold on a minute. I was actually told that the university was accepted by the GMC, but it said may accept. I started thinking to myself, what's going on here? So
sorry to interrupt you, Kashif. Let's explain what the may be accepted list is. Would you like to do that?
Yeah, definitely. So I started to think to myself, you know, I'm not going to listen to anyone. I'm not going to go look at agency websites or anything. I'm just going to do my own independent research with the GMC. And the first thing hit me really hard when coming from a pharmacist background, and I also worked in regulatory, and I was really the biggest fool myself to actually think, why did I not see this in the bigger picture, was when the GMC have clearly stated there that when a university is put on a may accept, when they say may accept list, it's because they are questioning the degree's credibility. They are not sure whether the university meets the standards, meets the primary medical qualification requirements, certain hours being met, certain criteria, etc. And remember this, just because the university has been put on a may accept list, that doesn't necessarily mean that you are going to be accepted, because remember this, when you look at the wording from the GMC from a regulatory point of view, they're not clear cut. They're very, how do you say, diplomatic in the matter, because they've clearly mentioned on the website, if you meet the criteria of certain hours, etc. I won't go into too much detail. You can do your own research. They still say at the bottom, we may accept. So you should be thinking in the back of your mind that even if you meet the criteria, there's not saying they will definitely 100%. There's no definitive statement that says we will accept if you meet the criteria. They're saying if you meet the criteria, we may accept. That's the key thing you need to understand. And with regulators, they're very on the spot. I'll give you clear examples. You've seen with the GMC, certain doctors that have been struck off, even though they've met every criteria and everything, they were penalized still. The GMC didn't care. So you have to be really, really careful which university you choose. And when I came across Medlink, I was like, okay, I'm being really skeptical here. Like, okay, I'm going through another agency, etc. And no word of a lie, Edmund is probably the most sincere, honest person that I've ever met from an agency. Because most agencies, you're going to expect they're going to try to sell you a product, etc. If I've joined Medlink today, it's not because of reputation or anything, it's because of Edmund today. That's what I'm going to say. Because the transparency, the honesty, and every information that was given by Medlink was just on the spot. I probably interrogated Edmund probably for about 6-7 hours before I even decided to go hit the Depro. And my God, when they say they've got a service, I mean a service. I've actually rang Edmund at 2 o'clock in the morning or 1 o'clock in the morning and he's replied to my messages. You'll be surprised. There's no agency that does this. I'm telling you now, when they actually say it's a family, they actually mean a family. And I'm not sugarcoating, I'm not saying anything because I was very skeptical. Edmund actually had a 6-hour interrogation, like he was suspected for something wrong he's done. And every answer was just like, I could not say anything. I couldn't find any flaws. Then I did my own research, spoke to students. I actually went to Dnipro myself. I thought, you know what? I'm not going to make the same mistake. I'm going to go to Dnipro and I'm going to check it out. And my God, when I actually went to Dnipro, I was like, am I in Ukraine or am I in the UK? Because every student there was from the UK. Like I just felt I was on a UK campus. And every student had the same feedbacks. Remember, there's always going to be goods and bads. And the important things is, what I always was really surprised was this transparency was the key thing. A lot of agencies, a lot of different universities will say, oh, something's good about the lectures are bad, this, that, etc. But with Medlink and actual university, everything was spot on what I needed. I knew I had an expectation that I'm going to go to a European country. The standards are not going to be exactly the same as what you expect in UK. However, remember, you could graduate from Oxford, but you can even have the worst doctor from Oxford, because unless you put the effort in yourself, you're never going to achieve anything. When I used to work on the wards as a pharmacist, most doctors from the European countries, my God, the knowledge they had was, I tell you, they'll put most of the junior doctors in the UK to shame, because they had to learn from head to toe everything. And they had to put extra work, because remember, we were talking about racism and everything. You're going to face that. Because when you go into a country like such as an Eastern European country like Ukraine or anywhere, you're going to have to work twice as hard to prove your point, because you are going to get that. But remember, we were working in a multicultural society now in the NHS. The NHS relies on different doctors from all over the world. And you're not going to get this problem, because now, since obviously the MLA is going to be, everyone's going to be on the same standard. So if someone's graduated from Ukraine or wherever, that's not going to matter. If you pass the MLA, it doesn't matter if someone's graduated from Oxford or from Ukraine. You both passed the exam. You both did the same exam. Whatever someone knew from Oxford would know the same as someone would do in Ukraine. So I spoke to Edmund probably within 3 days, did my application, did my personal statement, did everything. And thankfully, I've got an acceptance letter. And another thing is, when I spoke to some of the students, my God, they even have a student union. I was actually so shocked that they actually have a student union. I'll be surprised when I went to my university when they used to say, oh, we got clubs, etc. there and there. The basketballs were like empty. Basketball courts were empty. Like there was nothing there. When I went to Dnipro, I saw people playing football. I saw loads of students like doing extracurricular activities, and a student union where they've got like more than about 700 British students. And it brings us a nice forum and platform for support. So I'm, like I said again, I don't work for Medlink. I'm not sugarcoating anything. I'm just telling you straight, because if it's going to be me, I'm going to be the most pro-negative about agencies, because what I've experienced. Like when I first went to my own university, I was not even acknowledged I was a student. That's probably hit me really hard. And when I went to Dnipro, the dean of medicine just saw me that and just said, "Are you here to look at the university?" I go, "Yeah." "Are you a student here?" "No." Took me around, showed the whole tour, etc. And I was shocked. My own dean from my other university never even acknowledged me. They're like, "Yeah, just go around the corner, just have a check out and see what you want to see." Then even the service from Dnipro was spot on. As soon as I landed to go check the university out, Edmund organized a tour guide straight away, took me to a hotel, took me to food places, showed me around, etc. Like, I didn't even get that with my own agency. I had to wait 3-4 hours before I actually even got a taxi when I was there. And this was out of Edmund's own kindness. So I know everyone's skeptical. People are obviously worried about, obviously thinking, okay, European Union countries, Eastern European countries, etc. Remember this: if you want to be the best doctor, you can be the best doctor even from home if you really need to be. I don't want to say this in the reason, but remember this: it's all about yourself. You have to put your effort in. You'll be surprised, like half of the doctors that are actually in the UK are not to the standards that you expect. You'll see most of the senior consultants that really are on the top of the grades are ones from actually abroad. So that's briefly what I would say. It was really straightforward, the transfer. I just had to give my transcripts. I just gave my degrees transcripts as well, just to see which year I could get into. And yeah, I actually, to be honest, I just decided that I'm just going to start fresh. I didn't want to do anything with uni, which I was before. And I was willing to sacrifice the year. It didn't matter whether I was transfer. And I actually recommended some of my friends. They actually wanted to do the transfer for cost. Cost wasn't a problem for me. For me, it was more the fact that I just wanted a fresh start. And my God, it's probably been the best experience I've had. And like I said to you, agencies, etc., in the they sell your product, that's going to be bought. If I actually joined Medlink, I wasn't sold anything. Like most people will say, "Oh, come, it's really good university," and there. Edmund was just straightforward. He said, "Look, go check it out yourself. Do your own research. Do this. here's a student you can speak to, do this, do that, did my own thing. Everything would just spawn. Like if I joined, it was because of him, because of Edwin. So I gotta give a big thanks to Edwin because honestly, put my ears at worry, especially when I'm at the age of like after been going through so much, I've getting a fresh start at uni. So hats off to Edwin. Honestly, like his communication skills are just on the par. I just cannot doubt it. Honestly.
Brilliant. Thank you, Kashif. Wow, that is a really nice, I think, talk, and you expressed yourself very well and explained exactly your story. It's really sad that there are agencies out there that have no idea what they're talking about, or they don't give a damn. And what they do is just send students to places that get listed on the maybe list by the GMC, which is really important that you educate yourself on why a university is listed on the maybe list. The list of overseas degrees that may be accepted by the GMC, and you can search this on Google. It's very easy to find. This list is so important that you keep an eye on it, because the GMC clearly state on this list that there are concerns about this university. Not that we list the university just because it's a good university. No, it's actually the opposite. And unfortunately, there are agencies out there that are not so truthful, not so honest and transparent. However, that's the reason, and that's why we are here, and that's why we do these webinars, and that's why all the students here are volunteering their time for free, as opposed to other agencies that recruit students and tell them we'll pay you money and we'll give you this or that to come and promote a university and tell the student how great it is, when it's actually not the case. To sugarcoat things. We don't do that. We give you the facts, we give you the information that you need, and we actually care about your future. We want you to succeed. And this is why we attract amazing students like Kashif, Amira, and everyone here, Aryan, Ashok, all the students that you've heard today. We have all these students who are actually there because they want to give back to people like you. They want to give information. They want to give the honest facts about what's out there, because unfortunately this world is not a beautiful world. It's not a perfect place. So there are people that will take advantage and maybe sugarcoat things. So make sure you're always approaching the right people, getting information from the right people. That's what we pride ourselves on. We pride ourselves on being honest, transparent, and looking after you and giving you all the information that you need so you can make an informed decision, because it's your future. And we never want to see a student upset or angry. And we always, you ask any of our students, when they are upset about something, we approach them and we try everything we can to help them and support them, to make sure that they are, or at least that we have done our part and looked after them. So thank you for sharing maybe we wanted to give you guys the ugly side as well. We don't want to sugarcoat and tell you how amazing the world is, because there's also an ugly side. There are universities that are listed on the maybe accepted list, or the list by the GMC also that says we do not accept such degrees. So it's important that you educate yourself and get third-party verification by approaching the source of the information, doctors, the regulatory body, who is the GMC or the medical council in whatever country you come from. Educate yourself. And we always encourage our students. Kashif will even tell you, we don't tell students, listen to me and only me. We tell students, go and verify every piece of information that I give you. And I assure you that every single word that I say to you will be 100% factual. That's what's important. We care about your future. And that's something very important that you should remember, because there's always agencies or companies out there that are shooting down other agencies, especially shooting us, because we're out here doing the honest work and giving students the honest truth. And a lot of people are intimidated by that. So that's why we want you guys to watch these webinars, get the free information from us, get it firsthand from doctors, students, dentists, get it from the right people, and make sure that you're not being taken advantage of by anybody. And that's what we're here for, to give you the facts, and it's up to you to decide what you would like to do in your future. No one here will pressure you. No one will force you to do anything. We'll just give you the facts, and it's up to you to decide on what's best for you. Make sure to go to agencies that focus on you, not focus on putting down other agencies or putting down other universities or or anything. People that focus on you and make you the hero of the story. And that's what you're here for. Listening to us, you're improving your future, you're opening your mind, and you're getting facts from people that will look after you and help you. So not all Georgian universities, by the way, are on the maybe list, only one or two. We've spoken about one Georgian university, which is very good as well and does meet the requirements of the GMC, which are to have 5,500 hours for the full program. If you'd like more clarification on this, you can contact us. All right, so not to keep you guys too long, Emma, is your microphone working now?
I think so. Do you hear me? Can you hear me?
Beautiful.
Oh, great. Perfect.
All right.
Yeah.
Let's go back. Clinical rotations then.
So, hi, everybody. Sorry, my mic wasn't working before. Basically, there are clinical rotations for students that are interested in going to the UK. There's lots of learning, lots of teaching. It's consultant-led. It's you're going to be alongside the FY1s, FY2s, and you basically do the same thing. So you get to learn the clinical skills. So we learned to do vital signs. We had to do hand washing for surgery. We had to do swabbing. We learned how to do nasopharyngeal swabs and oropharyngeal swabs. We got to do venipuncture, arterial blood gases, cannulations. I mean, I learned so much and I saw so much. Some stuff you were allowed to observe and some stuff they allowed you to do. We got to see catheterization for male and females. You get to learn so much in the UK and obviously in the country that you choose to be. But if those students that want to do rotations in the UK, it's possible. There's students that have children, they're older, or they just want to be at home and they want that clinical experience in their home country. And it's available. More and more sites will become available as the years go on. And I think Medlinks are making a lot of connections with other hospitals. So more and more students from the UK will probably be able to stay at home and get their experiences. You get to learn how to do clinical examinations, and you just get to learn, you just get to meet other British students and other British doctors and consultants. And if that's where you want to be, it might be a good learning experience. You can also do electives in the UK, and I'm sure you can do the rest in the country where you decide, whether it's Georgia or Bulgaria. But it's definitely another possibility that Medlinks offers their students. So if you're interested, do get in touch with them. Perfect. Is that okay?
Thank you, Emma. Would you be able to tell us a little bit about your personal experience doing the clinics and the practicals? Did you see anything interesting recently that you'd like to share?
The most interesting thing I saw, well, I saw loads of interesting things, but surgery was the most sort of interesting thing. We got to do sitting on some breast cancer surgeries where you got a lady had a full augmentation. So she had a grade, I think she was caught quite late, I think grade 3 cancer. And I got to sit and watching as she had the operation to replace the breast tissue that was taken. They did quite a wide resection of the breast tissue. And I also got to see in surgery where someone had, they'd broken their ankle and we got to reset the ankle and fix it. So that was quite interesting. You do get to see some amazing things. I saw a TB patient, which I thought was amazing. I haven't seen that before. The guy was from India and he had, he was untreated. He hadn't had any of his vaccines. So he had TB and he had, his hip was really damaged, and that was quite interesting. So you get to see a wide variety of patients. I loved cardiology as well. We got to go to different hospitals and see stents fitted and angiograms. So, I mean, you get to see cases across the board and they're super interesting, and you really get to find your niche and what you like and what you don't like, you know? So yeah, so many different experiences I liked. It was amazing, really. Some things you won't like, and some things you will. So you get to learn, and it's fun.
Brilliant. Thank you, Emma. Very cool. Really nice to do clinics in your home country or in the UK. There are clinics available everywhere. So everywhere there's a teaching hospital, you can usually get Emma to help you with organizing clinics there, rotations there. All right, so let's get your questions and answers. I know the team has been answering all your questions, you guys, well, not all, but the majority of your questions in the Q&A section. So we can pick some questions now and see. You can ask us your questions now and we'll try to answer a couple, but we're quite late. So we were supposed to finish 15 minutes ago. We don't want to keep you guys over time. So if we don't answer your question, as much as we would love to answer every single question of yours, some of the questions require a lot more detail and explanation, and it's very hard to just give you a quick 1 or 2 sentences. So I would advise you guys to give us a call or send us a callback request, and we'll be in touch with you and we'll answer as much as we can. Do you guys, for the panelists, do you guys have any questions you would like to answer? So I see one for Emma here, and that says, is there any clinical rotations in the north of the UK?
There are rotations in the north of UK. They're not accepting students until, I mean, when is Boris announcing his relaxation? So they're normally okay up in the north, to be honest, but because of coronavirus, they've not been willing to say when they're accepting students again. But generally, yeah, loads of my friends went up to the north and they did their rotation. So in general, yes. So students that are incoming or are in the 3rd year, they'll have no problem getting a rotation there. It's I think that just because of coronavirus, they're being a bit cautious because of the COVID numbers. So you shouldn't have a problem. They normally love, the teaching hospitals normally love not only British students, they quite like the international students and the mix. So I was speaking to one of the hospitals in Surrey last week, and the lady said they normally takes a lot of international students, and they're happy, and the international students bring a different flavor to the hospital than some of them are more mature, they bring different experiences. So there are hospitals, and like I said, normally they take in international students, and it's a norm. Just because of COVID this year, they're being a bit cautious, but when they do start taking in students, I think it will, and when everything relaxes, I think it will go back to normal, really. So that's good news for the incoming students.
Edmund, do you see any questions you would like to answer?
I think there's a question for Ashok in terms of the crop. I know this year the students did really well. I think the student is asking if there's any other preparations that the students actually get for the croc preparations. You know, is there any classes that you get or anything else that the students get to pass the croc?
So I think Amira has touched upon that already. As already explained, there are 2 exams, which is Croc 1 and Croc 2, and then carry on from there. And obviously, Croc 2 covers everything, which is the clinical, the OSCE and the ORE, and it prepares you for things. Croc 1 questions, there are 2 different exams. One is both are MCQs. The first MCQs are predominantly based on the subjects that are taken from the 1st year to the 3rd year. It starts from biology, histology, anatomy, physiology, pathophysiology, pathomorphology, microbiology, biochemistry, and pharmacology. So we've got all these 9 subjects, which we study from the 1st year to the 3rd year. So you have to, I entered graduate entry, so on the 3rd year. So I had to literally study for the whole year. So in terms of croc preparation, the teachers would give you the questions every single lesson. You will be tested. So they'll give you a topic and you have to study the theoretical background. If you have any questions, you can ask that. So in terms of the MCQs, they always bring examples from the USMLE, questions from USMLE as well, and the past croc questions. dating back to 2005. One of my teachers told that the first batch to take croc was 1996, and she scored 97.6%. So one of my teachers, that was the first year they took croc. So in terms of understanding croc, of course, we need to know all the theoretical background, the underpinnings, so that we are able to answer all the questions. Second, we have a method of going through all the questions of the last 15 years. So that'll give you a clue of where we are preparing and what we need to know. And Medlink also organizes quite a lot of sessions. So if you're deficient in anatomy, and if you feel that you don't have enough knowledge in anatomy, as Amira said, there are anatomy classes separately going on, and there is a 2 croc preparation classes, which are really, really good. So the croc prep class, and one of the teachers is here, Amira. She taught me a lot about jaundice, bilirubin, indirect, conjugated and unconjugated bilirubin. So thanks to you, Amira. So croc preparation classes happen on Saturdays and Sundays, just well before the croc. You also have a separate croc preparatory session by a teaching faculty who has got an eclectic knowledge. She's got knowledge about every single subject. It's amazing how she comes across. I need to go back and thank her. So she will have, just before the second semester starts, she starts with the croc preparation lessons. So that covers all the questions of all the topics, actually. It'll be pharmacology, it'll be microbiology and things like that. When you do your subjects, you will have MCQ tests every now and again. So every month you will be having MCQ tests. So that way you're really prepared. So it's not that like you're just learning and then just ending up in croc and then you're worrying about croc. It's not that. So there are quite like strenuous preparation. One is, of course, you need to put in the effort. Nobody's going to study for you. So you need to make your own effort to study the theoretical background. Second is that you will be benefited by all these lessons, all in individual lessons. Of course, you won't be covered with all this subjects individually, but the croc preparatory lessons will help you to tide over. So I don't think there's any problem with that.
Brilliant. Thank you. Thank you there, Ashok. One student is asking, I think Kashif can help with this. One student is asking, I'm about to enter biomedical science. Can I transfer after my first year of study, or I have to graduate before applying to Medlink? I think the question here is, should I study biomedical science, or should I go directly into medicine or dentistry? What do you think, Kashif? Since you studied a degree before and then decided, you know what, later on, I'll do something else.
If I was given a choice, honestly, if I didn't have my family situation, etc., and I got muted, I would just go straight to med school. Honestly, just honest opinion. If I was given the option, I would just go straight into it, because you're saving a lot of time. If I was given the opportunity earlier, I would have done that if I didn't have my own personal circumstances. Even my own little sister, for example, she's trying for med school in the UK, and I've even told her that if you're gonna do maximum, just take 1 year out as a gap year, try one more attempt, and if you don't, just literally go abroad and just do it. Don't waste any more time, because I wasted 5 years in pharmacy myself. And one thing I've said is I wouldn't say I've wasted 5 years.
You are muted, Kashif.
Sorry. So where was I? So I was saying, like, I haven't wasted like 5 years of my degree. I felt like I've actually become more ready to do medicine. So it all depends on what stage you're at in your life. Like personally, like I said, if I was given a choice earlier, I would go straight. There's no waste any more time. Just go straight into med school. I've a little sister that did med school here in the UK. Just go for it. But like I said, you have to weigh your circumstance. Are you able to afford it? Will you be able to cope? Obviously, because most young students, I think, when they go to a different university, especially when they go abroad, for them, there's a big shock to the system culturally, and a big shock to the system just generally being independent, because it's the first time they're actually being independent and obviously having to do everything themselves. As a graduate, I haven't spent much time in Georgia, wherever I went, and even in Dnipro. But I have noticed students who are mature students, they actually go abroad. They actually are much better equipped straight going into the med school. But it all depends. Maturity only doesn't always, it's not always an age. It can also be just from your personal life experiences. So it's ideally personally, if you have the finances and if you can't do it and if you don't have any personal circumstances, I'd say just go with it. But like I said again, you have to decide for yourself, weigh the pros and cons, think about it carefully. And what is also the main thing is, can you see yourself doing a 3-year degree and think to yourself, you know what, can I do medicine afterwards? Will I have the energy for it? And secondly, will I be able to live through 3 years thinking in the back of my mind, do I really want to do this? Even though I've got no choice, I'm just doing it so that I can do graduate entry. Because let's look at it this way. If you'd only done the first year of biomedical sciences, you've wasted 1 year and you will do 6 years in med school. Imagine doing 3 years and then you have to go graduate. You're still going to be spending 6-7 years anyways. So why not just do it now if you can? Very simple. And another piece of advice I want to give to most students as well is, because I didn't just transfer, a few friends of mine transferred as well. And we were 50-50 in a mindset thinking whether to go with the 3-year intensive or the 4-year intensive. And the reason for me why I went with the 4-year was mainly because of the fact that I didn't feel like I was really well prepared to go straight into my clinical years. Especially as a pharmacist, I have majority of the background knowledge of pharmaceutical backgrounds and clinical knowledge, but the practical element experience, I don't felt like I would have been ready. Secondly, you have to understand that a lot of the learning is going to be independent. You got to have extra classes on the weekends. You have to learn your anatomy. So think about it carefully. Can you learn your preclinical years on top of doing your clinical years? It's going to be very tough. And what really appealed to me about is when you know a course is really vigorous and tough, you know that you're going to a good university. The university I went, I'm not going to lie to you, is half of the time, the lectures were just like, they weren't compulsory. The lectures weren't even compulsory. Half of the time, I knew more to a lecture. Honest, no word of a lie. This is what happened to me, is when I was in my own practical clinical class, I was there mentioning to the lecturer saying, you missed this out, you missed that out. You come and teach. I was like, I'm the student here. Why am I going to be teaching? So my other friends, they're physician associates and nurses, and they've gone to the 3rd year straight. And it will work for them because they have the diagnostic understandings, clinical management, etc. So they're able to work into it. That's why I went with the 4 year. I know I wasted a year, but end of the day, I'd rather waste this 1 year, wasting 4 years down the line thinking, oh my God, I don't even know if my degree is going to be valid, or whether in the back of mind thinking, I wasted 3 years in a biomedical degree. I could have used that time to save up money, work, spend a year out and just go straight into med school. So it's entirely your choice. But I personally, if I were in your situation, I would just go straight go into it. Especially now when you got the benefit of online with COVID as well. So you're not going to get this chance. It's going to be a unique chance. You'll be saving a lot of money in the sense as well. And COVID is not going away for a while. So yeah, I personally think just go with it.
Good. Thank you, Kashif. Really good. I'm really happy for you that you found a university that's more suitable for you, that gives you the reassurance you're not going to have any issues with the GMC. I really hope that you have a great time, and I look forward to seeing you graduate as a doctor as well. And we all do look forward to seeing everybody here graduate as doctors, or even get started on the journey, whether you get started in Europe or wherever you go. So thank you everyone for joining today, and thank you for our volunteers. Once again, I want to really say in front of everyone that we really appreciate that you join us and you volunteer your time for free without any expectation of any payment at all or anything in return. Our students are passionate about giving you guys information, about supporting you. We want to give you as much honest and transparent information. So what happens to other students, like what happened with Kashif in the past, does not happen to you. You must choose wisely, and you must speak with the right people in order to make sure that you're going to the right university that's suitable for you, to give you the reassurance that once you graduate, you're going to be able to come back home and practice as a doctor and make your parents proud and yourself proud and everyone around you in the community proud as well. So welcome to studying abroad. I really hope we opened your mind and showed you there are opportunities out there. There is so much opportunity. There are thousands and thousands of students that are taking advantage of it. So make sure that you're not being left behind. Don't give up on your dream. Don't go study something and settle for something that you're not passionate about. Don't study a plan B or plan C. If you want to become a doctor, chase that dream. And that's what we've all here done. Me, Amira, Kashif, all the students are here, Emma, Ashok, Aryan, everyone who's here has done this. They've been courageous enough. And if we've done it, then why the hell can you not? You can do it. It's such it just takes a little bit of courage at the start. Just throw yourself in the deep end and you will figure it out. I promise you that. Within a week or two, you will settle in like it's something very easy and straightforward. It's not so hard at all coming abroad and studying. You'll actually love it, because if you choose the right university and you allow us to guide you and give you the advice that we would like to give you, you will definitely end up in a university that you will be happy with, confident with, and you will receive our support from our on-ground offices that are near the universities, that will look after you, that will provide you with help, and you will see our huge teams in every single campus. So take care, everyone, and I hope you have a pleasant night. Thank you for hanging around this long. I really hope we benefited and gave you some value. Get in touch with us and make sure to contact one of our advisors. Everyone, I know we've praised Edmund a lot here, but that's simply because Edmund's students have been on the call today. So all our advisors are gentle, friendly, and honest people that will give you plenty of support and plenty of advice. So get in touch with us on the numbers here, or you can email us or get on the website. Make sure to get in touch with us. Give us a chance to give you the information. There is no obligation whatsoever for you to sign up. We'll give you all the information you need, and we hope, and we really hope, that we can help you in order to go and get started on your journey of becoming a doctor or a dentist. And we'll be proud of you whatever you do, because it takes courage and it takes real grit in order for you to persevere, to go abroad and become a doctor and then come back home. So again, well done for joining. It's obviously a step forward for you, because you watched 2.5 hours today, I believe, 2.5 hours of heavy content. So I really hope we've helped you. Take care, and we wish you a really successful future. Speak to you soon.